This is the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver. Aaron is a huge fan of country music star Eric Church and is a member of his fan base, the Church Choir. Aaron has attended and continues to attend as many shows as possible, and along the way, he meets some incredible people. Each week, he'll introduce you to a fellow choir member, and together, they will share their awesome stories and life adventures. It's time to meet one of them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host and choir director for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
What is up, everybody? We are live. I am so glad to be back again. I can't take no more time off, man. I'm liking how we were doing this every week, and then last Tuesday I was kind of going crazy, just sitting at home, and I just want to hop on and just kind of have an open session, I guess. So I'm doing good. The hand's doing good. The elbow's doing good. I feel good. I feel like I'm mobile again, got some feeling back. It's probably going to take like 3 months or so, but welcome to the show, everybody. This is going to be a great night. It's going to be a place, this whole thing is just growing so quick. Last week, we broke a record, or 2 weeks ago when I had Noah Smith on, we actually hit 64,000 views. And Noah's episode has been the most watched at 7.8 thousand views on Facebook alone, which just to me is just insane, having almost 8,000 views on one episode. So the downloads are looking good. I'm almost at 1,000 downloads already, and just helping. Or thank you everybody for the growth of it. Mainly to the sponsors, Arlo Revolution. You saw the amazing video kicking off, all the stuff that he does. Check him out. I'm not gonna lie, he does some of the amazing work. You can find him all over the place. Mainly his YouTube. You gotta check out his YouTube. That's some good stuff. The people you can see, the sponsors you can see on the screen here. We have Art on a Higher Wire by my good friend Joelle. We're going to talk about her here in a minute. And Janet Stolth Creative, just amazing marketing services and guaranteed to make companies be found and succeed on the web. Check her out. Another amazing choir member. Any other choir members out there, if you guys have a business or anything else like that you want to promote, you want to get ad space or anything like that for this show, reach out, check out my Patreon. That's be the best way to find it. Everybody's asked like how to support the show, how to help the show. That's the heart of the show is our Patreon. So please go over there and check it out. Some really great stuff. I actually just was checking out this month's giveaway where we have the Yeti. So I cannot wait to see who wins the Yeti and the Jeremy Spillman book. This is another thing right here. So if you guys haven't started reading this yet, amazing book. But that's part of the giveaway with a gift card this month. But check out the Patreon page. Some amazing stuff. Tonight we'll be doing the after show again. So I have another after show posted tonight. But hop on over there. If you can't do the Patreon, check out Apple Podcast and just give us a 5-star, rate us, subscribe, like, share, anything you guys can do to help out the show. Just get heard. Some cool stuff that I was reading about, like facts and everything. We actually debuted at like number 42 on the charts and peaked at number 9 behind Alec Baldwin's music interview podcast. And I never thought I'd have a music interview podcast where I would say I was like 8 spots away from Alec Baldwin on the charts. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, Staples, I'm telling you, I wasn't missed at all, was I? No. I cannot wait to get season 2 out. We're going to be wrapping up the first season here. We got a couple episodes left, couple amazing episodes starting tonight. First off, before we even get into anything, huge shout out to Mandy Javins. That new tattoo is just amazing work. I know that she said she's going to add some watercolor to it down the road, but I've never seen something so lifelike. I've seen a lot of Eric tattoos, like the face and everything else. I know I got one up here, but I've never seen. I mean, that one just pops. So awesome, badass tattoo. I just want to give you a huge shout out tonight. I saw that. I was like, man, we got to show that up there. We got to have you out on the show sometime. It'll be fun. So you can tell I missed everybody. I'm rambling over here. But another thing I really want to kind of bring up that's kind of near and dear to me. If you guys have seen anybody that's on the Holding My Own page, if you guys have known, here we go. If you guys know Janet and Heather and all of them, I was part of Holding My Own way back when they first started off, and amazing group. They do amazing things for everybody. When everybody's having a really crappy day, Heather and Janet were like the first two that would just hop in and just like, hey, how's your day doing? And it's like first thing in the morning, they would say hi. And I know all the time there are ways of doing things or running a page wasn't respected by some of the people, but they did it their way and they did it right. And they have a really solid Facebook group with 14,000 people in it. But if you guys have heard, Heather has some really terrible news. So whenever anybody needs somebody to lift them up, Heather, like I said, Heather and Janet were always there. But now kind of Heather needs it on the other side of the spectrum now. And she got some really crappy news here recently. So I decided to throw something together just real quick. We only going to do it for about a month and a half. And it's $5 entry fees. We got like 20 prizes or so. Hop on over on the Hold on Our Own group. I'll share the link. We have a separate page where you can click on and see how to get the entries. We have little wristbands. There are $5. If anything helps, everything's going to go to her GoFundMe page. And that would help her. I know how it is. My wife works at a cancer hospital, so I hear stories and they're heartbreaking. And I know the position that Heather's in, and especially having a young boy and being a single mom, it's gonna be tough for her. And if anything we do good as a choir, we come together and we band together pretty damn well. And we proved it pretty good in the past. So what we could kind of come together and what kind of a force we can be when we work together. So anything could help. I'm going to go and send over the link right now. I threw it in the chat, but check out the link. And anything you could do, if you could just buy one wristband or if you could get an entry in, that'd be awesome. But it's going to a good cause and can keep this mom going. So I know how it is, and we love you and we're pulling for you. So. But yeah, but you guys want to get to the good stuff, huh? So I'm ready tonight. I'm ready for a good interview. I'm anxious because I was just kind of timid last couple weeks or 2 weeks ago when I had Noah on because it was something a little new. But now I'm back to my people, so my friends, and I'm really excited for this. So we're gonna go ahead and bring Miss Donna on here. See if I get the music right. We can play. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Hey, I love that music.
Oh, look at that. I've got the pink color on. I never check. I do 2 podcasts. I never check what color I'm working with for the week. So I guess I'll be pink. All right, we'll change that. There we go. So Donna, this is your second time on the show.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I love that poster. We're going to talk about that poster behind your head. I got a story.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got a story. We're going to talk about that tonight. Pretty cool little story. It actually kind of goes with the shirt I'm wearing, or it can go with that shirt in a way. Awesome. Didn't think about it till just now. So hopefully Dustin and them are watching. But how are you doing? I'm going to call you the queen of the Double Down tour this year because last year you went to so many and it was awesome. Always just knowing, like, you always see the same, maybe like 20, 30 people that will go to like 5 or 10 shows a tour. And then having somebody else come out and do so many. And it's just awesome to see the passion that you had during Double Down, because it just makes me think of when Eric first started and all of us just running around with the same kind of passion and see how many shows we could get to. And not all of us are Chris Johnson, where we're a truck driver and we can plan our routes around Eric Church's tour. But
yes, I thought 27 was pretty impressive until I was talking to Chris.
That's amazing. I think I did 19. I don't know if I hit 20. I'd have to go back. I think it was only 19. I don't know. How many did Randy do? I know Randy was out there and he did like 20 or 25, I think. I don't know. You might have the record.
Oh, I think Chris had more than me, but I think he said 30 or 31.
Oh, wow. Oh, Johnson, that's right. Donna was on the same show as you. Lucky number 13.
Yes.
That was a good one. Everybody, that was a fun one. We got to have him back on soon.
He's awesome.
That way he could get his numbers back. So at first he had the big numbers, and then Noah just crushed everybody after 2 weeks ago. So tell me, are you going through like church withdrawal right now, having so many shows?
Absolutely. I do not like normal life again. I want a year like last year. I was thinking about when Robert Wildenberg was on, and he was talking about what a miraculous day that was when he met Ashley and he met Eric. You know, he had 2 meet and greets, and you said he should buy a lottery ticket. Yeah. I felt like my whole year was like that. It just, one amazing thing happened after another amazing thing after another amazing thing. So it was hard to come back to reality.
Yeah. Record year. Robert's in the chat. He's saying record year.
Yes.
It was, man. It was kind of cool because Detroit was my 150th show, and it was just happened. It must have been like a year ago, a couple of days ago, because it started showing up on all my social medias and like a year ago today or whatever. And it was really cool just to like see back and look at her. It's like, damn, like you have like everybody got to this moment and then it's gone. It was happening the same way for a lot of people on Holding My Own too.
Right.
Which is just was an amazing tour. Like I don't even know, like I know I will ask people, what did you like better? Was Holding My Own better? Was Double Down better? You got more music on one than the other. But I really don't think you could compare the two because like I think one was like a stepping stone for the other.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I only saw one show of Holding My Own, but it was to that point probably the best concert I'd ever gone to ever. Mm-hmm. So we saw it in Omaha.
My first concert was pretty epic, but I don't know. I had some pretty good church shows, so
I have to got a history of them.
I actually, the way I do I'm still working on it because I've been trying to work on this, doing a book too. But I have a ranking system for all my shows, so I have a spreadsheet, and then I'll have like 10 different categories, like set list. If I had a meet and greet, who was all there, who I hung out with, and I give each. It was actually Carla Rollins. She was my first guest on the show. It was her idea to do this, and so now I'm not saying, oh, this show is the best. I'm kind of letting stats pick my best show. So when I go back through, like you have like 7 questions out of 10, so 70 would be a perfect score. So I kind of let that pick what my favorite show or my best show was.
That actually is really, really smart because for me, I always feel like it was the last show that I went to.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not just the set list. It's not just how he performs. It's who you're with.
I put like poster in there. Like, so like maybe some of the newer shows now are having an advantage. Like, so the older shows had advantage because after the show, I could go to the merch table or I could go out by the bus and hang out and meet church. Right. Well, now we don't have that, but now, so I factor in, now we have posters. I mean, which is cool now. So I'm like, okay, 1 to 10, I rank the poster and that factors in now. So it kind of balances out. And it's funny because when I still do it, it still comes back to like a show back in like 07, 08 in Memphis.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, there was one show. It was my birthday and we had fun. It was on Beale Street and it was a good night.
Cool.
So I'm trying to read everybody in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat. I love this. So everybody's tuning in. Everybody missed it. We were ready to go.
Yes.
I'm trying to battle a little cold, so I'm drinking some tea tonight as well. But let's start back in 2014. Yes. That was your first show, correct?
Yes.
So was that Outsiders tour or?
It was the Outsiders tour. We actually a friend of mine, Vicky, we do country music concerts together. Mm-hmm. And she had said, did I want to go see Eric Church? And obviously, I mean, I had seen the Springsteen video, right? Mm-hmm. Which I loved. And I knew a little bit about him, but was not that familiar with him. And actually, because I have a story about everything, everybody laughs at me. But I had kind of reconnected with my high school sweetheart, just met him for lunch. And over lunch, he had said something about Eric Church coming and how whenever he hears Springsteen, he thinks of me, which I thought was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
And so anyway, we go to this concert, Aaron. And first off, it was Brothers Osborne, who I love, Dwight Yoakam, and then obviously Eric Church. But we were not a lower level. We were kind of up in the middle level on the side. And we were totally surrounded by young guys like you, like young blue collar guys in flannel shirts and boots. And yeah, that's the picture. And we were laughing about bringing up the average age in our section, but they're holding up their boots. Like what? We're like, what the hell is going on? And they got their arms around each other. And it really, truly was like being in an alternate universe. But was amazing. And then obviously bought all the CDs and, that was it. I was hooked.
So
hey,
what song got you got you hooked? I mean, so that was Outsiders. What was the opening up with? Probably Outsiders.
You know what? I think I just remember the big devil coming down. I remember the
Dude,
Outsiders,
off like
obviously.
that.
I love that song. I think at that point in time it probably was Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
It probably was Springsteen that got me. That may not be the answer I'm supposed to give,
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
at that time I think it was probably Springsteen. So but yeah, I was hooked, and you know, the rest is history.
It is. I mean, so you only went to one show, the whole Outsiders tour, then?
Yes, and the
So you
same
went to
for
one Outsiders, one Holding My Own,
Holding
and
My Own.
27 Double Downs.
Yeah,
What
well,
changed?
no, so here's what happened. Like, so we did one Holding My Own. We went to Omaha because my
Mm-hmm.
friend Vic was out of town when he was in St. Louis. And it was one of the only shows what was it, 3.5 hours? And
Mm-hmm.
you didn't want it to end. You did not want it to end. It's my feet were tired, but I didn't want it to end. And then we went to Choctaw that year. We went to the casino. And as soon as I heard he was going on tour, I was so excited. And I'm like, I've got my pre-sale code. I'm trying to get a pre-sale code, and I'm new at this, And I didn't get a pre-sale code for St. Louis. My friends wanted to go in St. Louis. So I thought, well, damn, I'll get tickets in Kansas City. And so I did. And then I ended up using the same pre-sale code for St. Louis. I didn't know it would work, but it did.
Hey,
And
roll the
then,
dice, see what happens, right?
yeah. And then I'm like trying to collect all 50 states. Like it's on my bucket list. So I hadn't been to North Carolina. So I'm like, well, what the hell? I'll get tickets in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
And then Milwaukee. And then at the beginning, that was it. It was those 4 shows and Nashville, obviously, because I love Nashville. And once I saw him in St. Louis, it's like, come home, get on the computer, buy tickets for everything I could buy tickets for.
I did almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's like, so anyway.
Like, because I was still working, I was working full time, and I'm like, I don't have the time or anything else. So I think I got tickets maybe like, so they went on sale in October.
Uh-huh.
I think it was around October when they went on sale, and I think I might have got tickets for Nashville and Milwaukee and Chicago. So I'm like, okay, I'll do 5 shows.
Yep.
This tour. And then that December is when I lost my job, and I was like, okay, I just lost my job about 3 weeks before church just kicks off his tour, so things are going to change. And then I end up going to opening night in Omaha, and we went to St. Louis, and
right.
so
Well, it's funny, Aaron, because originally I thought if I could just go to one show a month, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, what if I went every other week?
Yep.
So it just kind of took a life of its own. And I mean, even at the end, I had planned on 16 cities, and I wasn't sure about DC. I wasn't sure about DC. And when we were in Philly, we were talking to a couple who lived in DC, and they said, oh, you have to go to the Anthem. It's the coolest venue. And I'm like, screw it. I'm going there too. So yeah. It was.
Did you drive to all of them, or did you fly, or?
Well, combination. If it was drivable, I'm a Midwestern girl, so I prefer to drive. But I flew. I'm trying to think if I drove to Dallas, I drove to Milwaukee. Think we flew to Denver. I drove to Greensboro and Greenville.
Yeah.
So I drove to a lot of them, but I also, obviously flew to California. So
this next tour, we'll have to hook up since you're St. Louis, I'm Chicago.
Yes.
And we could pick each other up on the way or something.
Absolutely. Road trip. I see a road trip.
So we're road tripping this weekend. So I'm headed to Nashville this weekend real quick. And it's gonna be a quick shoot there, shoot back. And but it's just that's just such a big jump, 1 to 27. And it's just awesome that you would do something like that after like seeing them only on the 3rd tour. So now going from like Outsiders to Holding My Own to Double Down, and he kept on one-upping himself. What does he do next? Where does he go next? Like where do you want him to go, and where do you think he'll go? because it's probably two different places.
Yes, and I've heard you ask this question before.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's talking about a stadium tour, and
Mhm.
obviously he could do a stadium tour. No problem. But here's the thing. He never does what everybody expects him to do, right? I mean, think about he sets the standard for everything. That's one of the reasons we love him. So
Mhm.
nobody else did something like a double down tour, and I don't expect him to do that again, right? But uh, if he wants to just make a lot of money, do a stadium tour. I feel like he is going to come up with something and blow us away, because that's what he does. Think about every award show that he's been on. And I know sometimes we feel like you had said in one podcast about him kind of shooting himself in the foot
Mhm.
at the CMAs, because he did a medley of just his own songs. And, that wasn't the best way to be on TV. Well, he doesn't fucking care about that. He he is going to push the envelope. And so if you look at every awards show, he always does something out of the box. And I really feel like whatever he does next, it's not going to be what everybody else is doing. And maybe I'm
Mhm.
putting pressure on him. Hello, Eric, if you're listening. But I feel like, maybe he could I teach at a community college. So maybe he could do residencies with colleges and universities and pair it with a concert. Or maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like him to see something, do something different. I'm not a huge fan of the stadium tours. In general, trust me, I'll
Mhm.
go. It doesn't matter, but that would not be my first choice. I like the more intimate venues,
Yeah.
So, but he can't even go back and do dive bars because other people have done that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he's going to
and then
do
everybody be like, he's trying to be like Garth. He wants to be like
right,
Garth. Just
exactly. Well, and I just saw a thing on Facebook about Miranda Lambert rehearsing with a high school choir, and I'm like, been there, done that. Eric did it. He had the high school choir on Holding My Own tour. So I
Mhm.
think he sets the standard for what other people do. So we need to just let him come up with
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Good luck, Eric.
I think a lot of people he set the bar high for concerts, and a lot of people are now trying to try to top him.
Yes.
I want to see what other artists are going to do out there, because it's going to be interesting to see who else could go 3 hours. I mean,
Oh,
I don't think Luke Combs could go 3 hours without
no.
throwing at least 4 or 5 covers in there.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think so
um,
either.
there's a lot of artists that can't, because they don't have the B tracks that could keep the audience like held. I mean, Eric doesn't release. I mean, there might be like 2 or 3 bad songs he's put out, and those are P breaks, everybody calls them.
Right.
But
Yes.
I mean, there's really not many other artists that could really go through their repertoire like he could and still keep people hanging on.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like another artist. I mean, Garth, yeah, I could see a Garth show for 3 hours for sure and still stay interested. But there's been other shows where I've seen artists perform 3 hours. I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah. No,
Um,
absolutely.
I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan, and I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say this too loud, but I fell asleep at a Pearl Jam concert mainly because we had a 3-hour rain delay. But we were up in it was Wrigley Field. We were up in the rafters, and it's just
Uh-huh.
like after so long, it's just like I was like, okay. But there's really not many other artists I could go for 3 hours and actually sit down and watch.
No, I agree. And I think you nailed it, because he can pick the most obscure song off the most obscure album, and everybody there knows every
Yep.
word, you know? And I
Yep.
just don't think there are other people like that.
Yeah, Johnson's saying in the chat that Luke's doing 75 minutes right now. So Luke's not even doing a full 90 right now.
Oh, no, we saw him. This is really kind of funny. A
Mm-hmm.
couple weeks ago, we saw him at the Mizzou Arena. And my one friend wanted to drive back after the concert. And Vicky and I are like, well, you're crazy. We don't want to be home at 2 a.m. Well, it wasn't 2 a.m. because he didn't come on until it was almost 9. And by
Uh-huh.
10:15, we were walking to the car.
Oh, wow.
And we just assumed we'd be there till midnight, because that's
Yep.
what happens when we
Uh-huh.
go to Eric Church shows. So
Yeah, Johnson's saying Dirk's. I can see Dirk's doing 3 hours.
yeah.
I mean, Dirk's could probably keep you entertained by that. I mean, Keith Urban probably. I don't know, because then you got Keith Urban has the star power. I guess he could probably keep you entertained for it.
Yeah.
It's a rough. I mean, it's just rough seeing that.
Well, he sets the standard for everybody, in my
Yeah,
view. Eric does. So
yeah. I definitely I agree. And what's cool is Eric could do it 3 hours with a band or without, and it
yes.
doesn't matter to him.
And maybe that's something he does. Maybe he does something acoustic. I don't know, but I think he's going to surprise us.
I would like to see like a theater, like maybe like a 2,000, 3,000 seat like theater, maybe a little bit bigger, like these like Chicago theaters or whatever, and do like an acoustic
Acoustic.
storyteller show. That
Yeah,
would be kind of
that'd be awesome.
yeah, that'd be like just him and his guitar, kind of. That'd be really cool to do something like
Yeah.
that. But he has to do something. I think he has to do stadiums just to get it out of his blood. But
Yeah.
he's gonna have to take somebody with him. He's not gonna be able to do it by himself, and he proved that in Nashville. I mean, yeah, did he sell out Nashville? He did. Was there $7 tickets like an hour before the show? Yeah, there was.
Yeah. Well,
Did a lot of people leave during intermission? Yeah, they did. Yeah, like
yeah.
Sarah's in the chat, like Rialto and Joel. Yeah, yeah, somewhere like that would be perfect.
Yeah. I see Chris. I see a
Yep.
picture of Chris.
But but he'd have to take somebody with him, and it wouldn't have to. I mean, yeah, everybody be like, "Oh, it'll be Luke Combs, him and Luke Combs." No, I would take honestly like Travis Tritt or just somebody, just some old school
Maybe.
like 90s outlaw, like do it like him, Travis Tritt, and Gary Allen or something. I don't know.
Mhm. I'd go see him, whoever it is.
Yeah, right. But it would have to be something fun, but he had to do something different too to kind of turn it up a
Yeah.
notch, I think. So yeah, you see Johnson. So what is this your first time meeting Johnson in this picture? Or how
I
did that
can't
work?
remember. I think that was in Sacramento, that
Okay.
picture. So we probably met once earlier in the year, but didn't really talk much, and then talked a bit in DC. I love him. I love him. I
Were
see
you
Orion.
intimidated to meet him at first?
I'm sorry.
I said, were you intimidated to meet him at first or whatever? Or, like scared to meet him? I know a lot of people have like they they always are like, oh man, I don't know how to see Johnson or whatever. He scares me, and
No, no,
people are scared to say hi to him, but he's not.
he's
He's
a
the
teddy
nicest
bear.
guy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris. Chris, you're a teddy bear. Um, I think all the group, uh, the long term choir members, I'm going to be totally honest, and it's on us who are newer, I think, we're a little bit intimidated. And I don't mean that in a bad way,
Mhm.
because I've met several of you and I love you people and you're so welcoming and warm.
That's how we.
Um,
Yeah, that's all we
y-
want.
yeah, but I feel like when you are not, um, oh, I don't even know how to say this, not a part of that group, you kind of feel like an outsider, even though it's nothing you guys do, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Because everybody, Taylor, Chris, you, Staples, first time I met Staples, he gave me a big hug,
Well,
you
Staples can be
know,
a little bit of a jerk at times. No.
yeah. But so yeah, everybody is completely warm and friendly, and I know people are like nervous about Chris, and Chris is just a teddy bear. Like, I have never had a real pit experience, and when I do it, I want Chris right there.
Yeah, right.
You know?
He's a hell of a guy to have in the pit with him.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as he's
So
behind you and not in front of you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So I mean, I was upgraded to the pit once. That's one of the
I
stories.
I saw that. That was at the anthem, right?
No,
Or
it
no,
was
Sacramento.
oh, where was it? I believe it was not Hartford, maybe Manchester. I think it was Manchester. Pete in security upgraded us,
Okay.
which was very nice.
Yeah.
But because everybody had already been in line and everybody already had their spot in the pit, I went in there, but I didn't. I stayed for several songs, but then I went back to my seat because I felt like I didn't want to be in front of anybody when they had kind of marked their space. So yeah, but I'll do it at some point.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. How did you like Manchester? Like in that area?
Oh, I loved it. And I met some great people there. at the show, which actually is true at every show I was at. But no, I liked Manchester a lot. And we actually went to Manchester, and then Terry, who I met in Greensboro, we drove to Hartford together. So it
Oh,
was
nice.
really fun. Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
driving up
Greensboro.
there
I'm
in
sorry.
May. We're driving up the Manchester area in May.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So I can't
It's
wait. It'll be a
beautiful.
fun drive.
Yeah. So Greensboro was like a pretty pivotal kind of show for me, because it's the first show that I went by myself, and
Hmm.
I'm not the kind of person that goes to a concert by myself. And I met so many people. I mean, I met Kim Gannon,
Hmm.
I met Vicky McFate, I met Denise and David in the bar. I just met so many people. And then when I got to my seats, I was sitting next to two couples, Terry and Tony, and Allie and Clay.
Hmm.
And the experience of being at an Eric show, and you're just really getting into it, and you're with these people, and it's like you've got your arms around the people by the end of the show. And I exchanged information, contact information with them. I've never done that at a concert ever in my life. And I think it's one of the things that Eric shows do, is you feel a connection to the people who are sharing the experience with you. And those two couples, well, the women, Allie and Terry, we're best friends. I mean, I've gone to several shows with each of them separately and together, and it all started in Greensboro, which was just wild.
Yeah, it's crazy the bonds and the friendships that form. And I mean, well, you're a part of it this year, like the whole or last year, the slogan, it's more than just music, because
Mm-hmm.
we all kind of prove in a way that it is, because you can go to a show by yourself. I used to go to shows all the time, like back in the bar days and stuff, by myself, and
There's
everybody
Jessica.
yeah, everybody would ask me, they're like, well, how do you go to a concert by yourself and this and that? I'm like, well, really, you're not going by yourself. I mean, especially with the choir. I mean, let's see, I went probably by the third or fourth show, I started hanging out with people in the choir. Or I don't even know if we were
Uh-huh.
called the choir. I think it was just the fan club, Eric Church's fan club at
Fan
this
club.
point. And so it's probably like my third or fourth show I started hanging out with them. And then at that point, I thought to myself, I can never go to a show and feel alone or feel by
Right.
myself.
Right.
Even when I've
Well,
had tickets or like
even
seats.
when even when I said I was going by myself, more than one person on the Facebook page made the comment, "You're never alone at church,"
Mm-hmm.
and you're not. You instantly, you just, there's something that he has created, and it's not an accident. He's created it. That makes the difference. And I love that poster. That poster is actually hanging on my wall, with my quote. Um, that actually, I heard about that in Grand Rapids. My friend Vicky and I went to Grand Rapids. She's the one who took me to my first Eric Church show, and we
Mm-hmm.
had front row seats. And it was so fun. When he was singing "Drink in My Hand," he came by and he gestured that he was going to do a shot with us. But then he never came back. I joke that he never came back until Philadelphia. Um, but Susan Knox came out and told me that my quote was on that poster, and it was on a billboard in Nashville.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was on a big billboard and stuff.
Yeah, I was blown away. And she was kind enough to send me a JPEG. I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but I blew it up and it's hanging on my wall. So
Oh, of the actual picture.
of that picture, yeah, with
That's
my
cool.
with my quote on it. Yeah, that's Susan telling me. My friend Vicky took a picture when she was telling me my quote was on the billboard. So I have that, which was just really special. I love Susan to pieces.
Yeah. Oh, she's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Grand Rapids was just an amazing show. And I do joke because he said he'd be right back, and then it wasn't till Philadelphia that he came back and drank a shot with me.
Well,
So
that was the first of a few.
The first of a few. And I want to know if I've set the record for the most shots in a row, because I believe I may have. Yeah, Philadelphia. Oh, there's a story to that poster. Oh my God,
Well,
I can't. Oh,
let's
that
hear it.
story's gonna make me cry.
Well, now you got it. Now you got to share it.
Yeah. Well, first we did, we did the shot, which was awesome, right? And so then I'm at the hotel, and we were at the Choir Hotel. I think it's the Hilton there on the landing. And there was a door guy named Lawrence. Lawrence was the nicest man. He called me Miss Donna. He knew somebody named Donna. He loved her. He was never going to forget me. He was just super nice to me. So that Philadelphia choir sign, I like to get my picture taken in front of that sign when I'm in a city, if I can. Well, lots of times people steal those signs, believe it or not. People steal them.
Yep.
And so when I was looking for that sign the day after I did a shot with the Eric Church, I couldn't find it. And I was telling Lawrence all about doing a shot with the Eric Church. And I don't think he knew who Eric Church was. He just was kind of humoring me. And he said, Miss Donna, go get your coffee. I'll see if I can find where that poster is. And the guy at the desk had told me, it's gone. It's gone.
Mhm.
So I get back and my phone rings in my hotel room, and it's Lawrence. And he says, Miss Donna, come down. I found the poster. I'm going to take your picture in front of it. And so that picture is the picture he took.
Uh-huh.
But he told me to write down my address. And he said, I can't promise you anything, but if I can get that poster, it's going to be yours.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And I never heard anything else from him. That was in
Yeah.
October? Aaron, 2 days before Christmas. I'm going to cry telling this story. 2 days before Christmas, there was a box on my front doorstep. Lawrence paid $47.10 to mail that poster to me, Federal Express. And it is now hanging in my dining room.
That is awesome.
Who does that? Who?
That is so cool.
What doorman? Like, and he just saw how excited I was. Yeah. So he sent me my poster, which,
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That is a
again,
cool story.
those are the kinds of things that just one of the other stories I bored my friends with is there is in Greensboro, there was a little coffee shop around the corner from the hotel. And I have to tell Jay's story too. But there was a little coffee shop, and the lady that was there was from Albania, and she opened up a little coffee shop. And so I went Friday and Saturday morning, and she baked baklava, and she made your coffee, and we talked. She couldn't believe that my husband let me go to a concert by myself. I tried to explain to her I don't have a husband, but she couldn't believe I went by myself. So she asked me if I was going to come by or Saturday. I said, well, I'll come by tomorrow before I leave. I had driven. And she looked at me and she said, well, what time? And I said, well, maybe 8. And she said, no, 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 no. I have mass. Don't come at 8. Come at 9. And I'm like, okay. So I go at 9. She makes my coffee. She made me a whole bag of treats for my road trip. Baklava and all these muffins and all this stuff. She would not take a penny for anything. She gave it to me. And when I got back to the hotel, the doorman at the hotel asked me where I got the coffee. And I told him, at Lily's coffee shop. And he said, well, that can't be right because Lily is not open on Sunday. She opened her friggin' coffee shop so she could make me a bag of treats for my road trip home.
Oh, man.
And Aaron, that's how the whole year was. It was
That is
insane.
amazing.
Yeah, and Jay, I love Jay Mack. I don't know if Jay Mack is in the room, but I didn't know him from Adam. I had an extra ticket for that show, and I was on the Facebook page, and he was looking for a ticket to the show. And I said, look, it's a second row ticket. I'll give it to you. And he was like, oh my God, So he met us and came in with us. He bought me a scarf, which was very cool, a flag scarf. It turns out that there was no front row. So row 2 was row 1. So we were in the front row. And that was Hartford. So yeah, that's J-Mac. He was great.
That is so cool. And just going back to those stories like that you were talking about, like how those cool things kept on happening.
Yes.
Especially now with my new job, I had training last week and we're learning a different ways like to do, like they call them surprise and delights and like retail and stuff. And it just hearing stuff like that, it's just really cool. And it's just like, you don't know, like just how little that $45, that $47 was to ship that thing, like how huge that was, like this, how big that was to you, and just how it made you feel. I mean, now it's pretty much a piece of art on your wall.
Yes.
That this guy went out of his way just to do, and he probably got like $5 in tips.
Aaron, when that happened, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I stood on my front walk and cried for a half hour before I opened the box because I knew what it was. And I cried. I mean, who does that? To go out of their way to be that nice. And I wrote him a little thank you note. I said, I'm going to write more later. I had no words. It's just, what do you say to somebody who is so nice? So yeah, it was an amazing, amazing year. And at that show in Hartford where I was with J-Mac, there's a picture somewhere where, Eric was doing creeping and he came right in front of us and pointed right at us. Like he recognized me, and because the people next to me were like, do you know him? I was like, kind of, I drank whiskey with him a couple times.
It's always cool when he does stuff like that because like that when he knows, like he recognizes, like he connects it with you.
That's it right there. That's the picture where he pointed at us. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and so we did the shot in Philadelphia. Oh, listen to you, Taylor. I love you. So we did the shot in Philadelphia, and then we go to Little Rock, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to bring whiskey in, sneak in whiskey. And I'm like, oh, what the hell, right? Because we had good seats again. And we did a shot in Little Rock, which was awesome. That was one of my favorite. Because honestly, in Philadelphia, that was the first shot of Jack Daniels I ever did in my life. Please don't tell anybody that.
Your first shot was with Eric Church?
My first shot ever that I drank a shot of Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Ever. Yeah. So I don't remember tasting it. I just remember thinking, I'm fucking doing a shot of Jack Daniels with Eric fucking Church. Excuse my language.
You're all good.
So then Little Rock comes and he comes over and we do a shot again, which is awesome. And then Birmingham, I even told my friend Allie, I'm like, I'm not even taking whiskey, because and then I'm like, what the hell? He doesn't have to come do a shot with me if he doesn't want to. And I wish you could see the video because he actually is singing and he does a complete 180 turn. It's like he sees me and he turns his back and makes the circle and then just sits right down to do that third shot, So yeah, it was pretty amazing. 3 shots in a row. That's my friend Terry, who in Greenville, this is another story. So Greensboro, I sat with Terry and Allie, didn't know them from Adam. And I get to Greenville and Terry messages me. She has an extra ticket. And I'm thinking, well, I have a really good seat. I'm on the side of the stage. I don't think I want your ticket, But I said, well, I have a pretty good ticket. And she said, yeah, well, mine's in the first row if you want it. And I'm like, okay. So when we get to the first row, you know who's sitting right down from us? The same 2 people who are sitting near us in Greensboro.
Oh, wow.
What are the odds? And then that's part of how we really connected. And Terry, we were in Hartford together. There's a story there too. Terry, her son Caleb got his boots signed in Hartford. he was beside himself. He was so excited. It was a really fun show. This woman, Barbara, I just met one time in Greensboro. Every Eric Church fan is going to believe this story and get why we love him. So I met this woman in Greensboro, and she joked and told me that she was his oldest groupie. And I said, well, I want a picture with you. And she said, no, seriously, I have to tell you my story. So she said that her husband had died, and then she was diagnosed with cancer, and she had started treatment, and she was so sick, and she was so depressed, and she had given up. And she said she prayed. I'm not a religious person. She said she prayed for God to send her a sign. And so her friend took her to an Eric Church show. And her friend held up a sign that said something like, not chemo, not radiation, not cancer would keep me from church. So Eric did a shot of Jack Daniels with Barbara.
Oh, man.
And she thought that was very cool, you know. And then she said after he finished the song, he came back over to her and told her that he was going to pray for her. And she said, that was my sign. And she went back and finished her treatment, and she's been cancer-free for 7 years. And she swears that Eric Church saved her life.
Jeez. He's fixing lives with more than just music now.
Exactly. And I mean, she really, really believes in, when he went in the crowd, I think that was in Greensboro, when everybody was in line at the door and he was out when everybody was coming in. Mm-hmm. She came in and she said he went right over to her, recognized her and hugged her and asked how she was doing.
That's awesome.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He recognizes people. I mean, he will know a face, and it's just so cool it's so cool like to see how he does that and how he recognizes people. And I always wonder like how he sees so many faces and how he connects, and he just in more ways is just able to connect with so many people on different levels.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like that's part of.
I swear he stalks us on social media.
Yeah, or he thinks we stalk him. I don't know. I feel like there's something. I mean, my friends have asked me before, what is it? What is it about him? What is it? And to me, it's his authenticity. Mm-hmm. It's his genuineness, because we need it. We live in a world where nothing is genuine and nobody is real. And he is. And he makes that personal connection with people. When I met him, I got the meet and greet in DC.
Was that your first time on Double Down was meeting him? Or no, you met him at the fan club party.
I met him at the fan club party, the last fan club party. But yeah, this was the first time in, oh, there you are.
I'm like, we lost you for a second. Hang on one second. Let me bring you back up. There you are.
There we go. Sorry. I had gotten my bird tattoo, and I really wanted him beside my arm, which I said in St. Louis at the beginning of the tour. And I got a meet and greet, which I was like hysterical about. And when it's the same thing. When I walked around the corner, the first thing he said to me is, I know you. We did Shots of Jack together. And I was like, you know who I am? And he's like, well, yeah. Like, so anyway. Yeah. So he does remember people.
And then when he even knows people's names at times. Yeah. And that's just where I'm like, huh. Yeah. And like last year I was talking about like my 150th show in Detroit, and I had a meet and greet the night before on my 149th. And my buddy Brad Smith had a meet and greet, and he had an extra one. He's like, hey, Shriver, come with me. And it was awesome. I got to go and do the meet and greet. Cause you're lucky to run into the guy once a year or so.
Right.
Unlike before, but he's just like, oh, tomorrow night's 150. I looked at him, I'm like, how do you know? And he's just like, oh, I know these things. I'm like, you got to be watching the app, or he has to have some kind of.
He's got people.
Or something. And then they show the pictures of him like sitting there studying the set list like prior to shows.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if maybe he goes. I mean, because there was a couple times where people would post like song requests on the apps or on the app and I would see it come through. Like I would see it actually like where he would sing the song or something would happen.
Yeah.
And
That's
it was
cool.
just crazy. And I'm like, he has to be seeing this. So maybe the app was something that fed into his dressing room. So when he was making the set list, maybe he was able to see the app on TV or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
And
I'll tell you what, it was a fabulous and then of course when you think it can't get any better, it cannot possibly get any better ever. The last show in Sacramento. And I still haven't found a good photograph of this. So if there's anybody out there who has a good photograph, oh, I want it. He started doing Springsteen, and I was tearing up because I was like, "This is it. He's going to do Springsteen, and then he's going to do maybe an encore, and then we're done. And the tour's over,
mm-hmm.
And he is singing Springsteen, and he comes around the corner of the stage, and I have J Mac's scarf, which several times Jay had said, "Why don't you hold up the scarf and give it to him?" I'm like, "I'm not giving him my scarf. I like this scarf." So I'm kind of half-hearted holding it up. I'm not really holding it to give to him. I'm just kind of half-hearted. And he sees me, Aaron, he jogs over to me and he gets down on his knees and he kissed my hand and he took my scarf. Damn it. No, I'm just kidding. And I just was like stunned. I was like stunned.
Mm-hmm.
And there are pictures of me crying afterwards. But there are no pictures of him actually kissing my hand, which is sad. But
one of these days you never know. Someone just might post something and be like, hey, that's when he kissed my hand.
There. Yeah. Now there's you and me in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's the first time I really met you.
Yeah, we went to a few shows before that together, but we just never. I'm always running around whenever I'm at shows, anyways.
Connected.
Like, I mean, the best time is whenever I get there early for the pit line. And I'm just sitting in the pit line all day.
Yes.
Like, I actually get to see people. Other than that, if I don't have pit though, like I just bounce around and I run around everywhere. So it's always fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have a whole new respect from visiting the pit line. What you guys go through, to be. I think some people, get jealous. Like, oh, how does Taylor always get, in front, or how does Chris? I'm like, well, Taylor's friggin' in line at 6 a.m. You want to get in line at 6 a.m? You earn those spots.
And I've said it before. Anybody can be front row. Anybody can get up there. You gotta want it.
Yes.
And does wanting it mean losing sleep and freezing or sweating your whatever off and working out a deal with whoever's in line behind you? Like, hey, I'm going to run at 3:00 and go back to my hotel and shower. When I get back, you run and go to shower. We'll tag team it like that. Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, there was times where we had chats leading up weeks prior saying, all right, we're going to get to the pit this time. We're going to wait together for a couple hours and for an hour, you leave, go get lunch or go get breakfast, come back, then I'll leave. And we would do it just shifts and everything else, but we'd always make sure there was a chair or something. And if anybody else came, we'd be like, hey, so-and-so's here. They went to go get breakfast. And we make sure that we'd swap in and out. And as long as you do that, there's no problem with people working together like that. And we could always work together because there's been times where we waited all day, Milwaukee, holding my own. I always remember this. Well, I mean, I was there before like Taylor and her gang and everybody else. We were there, and I was like, before the doors open, I'm like, what side do you guys like? She's like, well, we like being on this side. I'm like, okay, cool. I like being over here. So we pretty much planned where we were all gonna go. And then when the doors open, we didn't like run and fight one another. We all kind of knew where we wanted. We worked together.
Right.
So,
well, it's that sense of community.
Strength in numbers. So. Yeah. But the same way with the tickets. I mean, when the tickets are doubled down, everybody freaked out because like, oh, you're only allowed 4. You're only allowed pit like once or twice, or how are we going to do this? Well, yeah, everybody's allowed 4. Everybody's allowed this amount. So you get together. I mean, like I said, strength in numbers. So now when you have 10 people, now your 4 just turned into 4D.
Exactly.
So you buy the max tickets and you trade. I mean, like you said, you only had tickets for a show or 2. And then you went online and bought whatever else. I had like 1 or 2, But like, I just waited to the day of just to see. I'd check the box office, see if anything was at the box office, or I'd go on the app or anything else. Be like, all right, who has what? And last minute buy a ticket.
Right.
Because it's always nice waiting for last minute. Because if somebody can't make it or something happens, you get sometimes take somebody else's ticket out and get them out of a jam. And by then they're looking to dump it for half the price. So
Right. Well,
I saved some money in the process.
Sometimes we actually ended up, we'd buy seats and then they maybe wouldn't be that great as seats. And then we'd watch and then we'd have better seats. And
Yep.
so then I'd give a ticket to J Rob, or my friend Carolyn came from St. Louis to Sacramento. And then we found another girl on the Facebook page who was in the nosebleed section who loved Eric. And I'm like, here, we're first row on the side. Take this ticket because now I'm in the first row, So, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good karma. Pay it forward.
It is. So you went to Granite Falls, huh?
I did. When I was in Greensboro, one afternoon I drove over to Granite Falls. I did not get a picture of me in front of the infamous sign that said Eric Church. I couldn't find it. But I did look around Granite Falls, which was pretty cool.
I want to get back there soon. I haven't been there in years. They've talked about maybe possibly doing a reunion there.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
For Brandon. They want to do like a Brandon memorial or something, like the choir wants to kind of put together something for Brandon this year. I'm like, I'd be all game for that. It'd be a lot of fun, and do something around Granite Falls and get like a couple locals to kind of do get like a bus and do like little tours of this town and this and that.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
I think something like that would be fun to do, but I haven't been there in years, so it'd be kind of cool just to get back and to see the town, and for everybody to do something like in the town would be fun. Yeah, Staples is saying the same thing. He wants to have a reunion party. I would love to have something out that way, or either in Hickory. I know back in the day when we used to have our reunions like in 07, 08, and way back then, we would have them in Hickory and right outside Granite Falls area at a couple of restaurants.
I wish I had known you guys then. I really do. Because
fun.
Yeah.
I know someone posted a picture today, I think, of us. There's one time, I think it was one of our reunions, so it was in North Carolina outside Hickory or somewhere, and we got window chalk, and we went, and it was after probably a couple drinks for a few hours, like around midnight or 1. There's probably half a dozen of us or so, and we went around the entire hotel, and every single car in the parking lot, we wrote something about Eric Church, a song lyric or something on our window. The Granite Falls Police ended up showing up. There's we have pictures of us in the Granite Falls Police Department or the Hickory Police Department.
Oh, that's
terrible. He's just in the parking lot, and we all have our window chalk, and they're like, "You know all these people and who car belongs to who?" We're like, "Oh yeah, we could count for all these cars."
Oh, that's
we didn't
funny.
know. We didn't know anybody. We just tagged everybody's car up in Carolina blue window chalk.
That is funny.
Staples wants to do a get together at the Pizza Hut.
That's a great idea.
But Staples, you got to do the entire dance, though.
Yes.
I'm gonna have Staples on the show one time, and his 10 questions are just gonna be do the entire hometown dance.
Yes, that's awesome.
So if you got a chance to go back to Granite Falls, what would you want to see or do? What would you want to spend more time like focused on?
Oh, I would love to see the Pizza Hut, obviously, but I think I really would like to get a group picture in front of the sign, that says Home of Eric Church. I think that would be cool. It was a nice little town.
Yeah.
Nice little town.
Staples says that would fail. It is. Oh, there's my old man alarm. Take my nighttime meds. I keep forgetting to turn it off. Like, I got to turn it off because then the show goes after 9 now.
Yeah, that's wild.
So you've been to the Opry to see Eric. What Opry did you get the chance to go and see?
Oh, the big one.
Oh, the Riley one?
Vegas shooting. Yeah.
Oh.
And I wish I would have known all you guys then, because I went by myself. And those 2 empty seats were 2 rows directly in front of me.
Oh, wow.
That he talked about. It was just, if you were there, it was just one of the most moving things. And again, to me, it just shows his humanity, his authenticity. He doesn't pretend to be anybody other than who he is. That's why we love him.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I agree. I mean, if anybody wants to see something that's real in the moment and
Yes.
kind of just caught up in, I mean, you could tell he didn't want to be there, but he
No.
felt like he needed to be there.
Yeah.
Like he had to be there and do that. And
I mean, the room was like full of people sobbing. It was just one of the most powerful experiences. I'm so glad that I was there. But it was heartbreaking.
I think I'm gonna have kind of a little moment like that this weekend. So we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
actually heading down to Nashville this weekend on Saturday to see another one of my favorite artists, and it's his first show since his brother was killed.
Oh, Taylor.
So Tucker, yeah, I wanted to see Tucker
Tucker. Yeah.
playing the Opry
Oh,
Saturday
yeah.
night.
That's heartbreaking.
And so when Tucker first played the Opry a few years back, he made a pact. He said, he goes, whenever I play the Opry, I'm going to debut a new song. And he has this is his third or fourth time playing the Opry, and every single time he's played the Opry,
Oh, wow.
he's debuted a brand new song. So I wonder if we'll get something that's kind of for Clay, or see what we get. So
that's heartbreaking. I love this picture of Taylor. I love Taylor. I love that picture of me and Taylor. That was her big show, her 100th.
Okay,
is that right? That was her 100th show.
Where was that at? Where was her 100th?
Sacramento.
Sacramento. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's the end of the tour right there.
Yes, it was awesome. It was an awesome thing. She's a doll.
You gotta tell me about the tattoo. I gotta know about this, because like I know a few people have the autograph tattooed on too, but like, how crazy are we?
I know. Look, and actually, while I'm thinking of it, and you showed that earlier tattoo. I don't know the woman who got the really cool
Mandy
Eric Church tattoo, Mandy.
Yeah.
I think we need a Facebook page just of Eric Church tattoo people.
Oh yeah.
Because and I'll help you administer it if you want. But I just think there's every once in a while somebody will say, "I need an Eric Church tattoo. Give me an idea." We just need a page.
Yeah, right.
Of those. So
we'll create it then. We'll do this. We'll create a page.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So I am not a big tattoo person. Let me preface this. I got my first tattoo just a year and a half ago, and I thought about it for years and years. And it's I have a trainer who's got lots of tattoos, and when I heard all the stories of all the tattoos, I'm like, oh, I want a tattoo. So I have a tattoo that's a butterfly with a heart for my mom and a heart for my son. It's a very sentimental tattoo. The story's way too long behind the butterfly. But and then I have friends who say, "Are you going to get a second tattoo?" And I'm like, "Oh, when I figure out what I want." Mm-hmm. So the St. Louis shows, like, they were just, the Double Down tour was like, oh my God, this is it. I have to come up with an Eric Church tattoo. And I have friends who were like, oh, I don't think you better do that. And I'm like, no, that it's going to document this year. It's not just Eric Church. It's going to be this phenomenal year that I had. And so, it's the Soaring Blue Eagle. I saw it on the drums, and I saw it on the hood of the sweatshirt. And my friend who's a tattoo artist who did my butterfly, I just sent her a bunch of pictures, and she was inspired to create this flying blue bird. And so I want to say it was before DC, but after Hartford, I said, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. And so I did. And then, at the meet and greet, they say he does not sign autographs. And they told me over and over again, he will not sign, he will not sign, he will not sign, he does not sign. And he doesn't, but he did. and he saw my bird, and he said, that's a really good tattoo. And I said, they told me I'm not allowed to ask you to sign my arm, but I really want you to sign my arm. And he was like, do you got a Sharpie? And I'm like, yeah. And he signed it. So you can see the one, he actually signed it. And the other one, I went right home. And Monday she tattooed right over it. So, and
a lot of people now, I heard someone say to stop doing that and tattooing it over it, just bring a picture of it or just, I'm like, no, that takes the fun away.
Well,
Like,
and do you know what's interesting? Because I had talked to my tattoo artist, and I have a guitar pick with his autograph, right? And so
mm-hmm,
she had said, we can just do the guitar pick right above the bird and we can have his autograph. And I said, hold on, let me see if I get lucky. And then when I went in, she thought she had designed all these beautiful tattoos,
uh-huh.
smaller in guitar picks. And I walked in and I said, no. And she goes, what are you talking about? I go, you're just going to tattoo where he wrote it. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, this is what I want.
I
Um,
did the same thing when I had the Sinners Like Me on the arm, and
uh-huh.
I told Eric, I said, just sign it right here. He's like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, just wait and see. And then I went right across the street. Like,
Got,
you can look out the bus window and see the tattoo shop.
yeah.
And
Well,
I got it right before the show.
and when I'm trying to think which show it was. Uh what was after DC? It must have been Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Um he Friday night he was singing right in front of me and he looked down and he saw my tattoo. I mean, I saw him see my tattoo, you know. So yeah, I love it. And I was uh there's so many people. Carol Termine, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. She's got a bluebird with his autograph. um I just, to me, it's like, I don't know, it represents the year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's really about, it represents the year, and it was phenomenal. I cannot imagine ever having as amazing a year again. And every time I look at my arm, I think of it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
It reminds you of it. Like, I was telling myself one of these days I want to get a tattoo for almost every album he did. And
yes,
I never had a chance just to do it, but I was like, whatever. But it's just so cool, and it's a good way to remember stuff. And I know
yeah,
a lot of people are getting them. That page is awesome. I wrote it down,
yeah,
so
do
I'm gonna
that.
have
And
to.
now, because
Yeah,
I
we'll have to do a
so
tattoo
many
page.
times people have been on Facebook pages and saying, I'd like to get an Eric Church tattoo, and everybody starts sharing their pictures. And
I
I
have to
think if we
look,
had a page where
but
people could share their picture and their story,
yeah,
it just would
I
be
think
cool. Because I know
Lee.
you have neat ones. Robert Wildenberg has some cool
Yep,
ones. I mean, yeah.
I think Lee Hayward still has her website up and running. It was like wildirishrose.com or something.
Oh,
And I
okay.
know when she was on, we shared it, and she had a page. I don't know if I can find it,
Well,
but
I think it.
she had a page that was all dedicated straight just to tattoos.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, then maybe we'd start there. I just thought we
yeah.
need one. And
Well, no, we
Kim,
could steal the old ones too. Yeah, here. It's actually ericchurchmusic.com.
yeah.
And let's see if I can find the link. And I could put the link in the chat. But it was just tons and tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah, because so many people want to do it, and we just share ideas. I
Oh,
think Kim Gammon, I think is her last name. I saw her
mhm.
several shows throughout the year. She was
Is
a
she the one that has the
fabulous.
tattoo on her back
Yes, the
of
face.
Eric?
The very first time I met her, she had on a shirt where you could see that, and I was just blown away. I was like, does Eric know that his face is on your back? That's so cool. I
It
don't.
definitely it's crazy just to think about it, and
Yes,
that was like one of the things I wrote down to kind of bring up, like like how do you is it crazy to have somebody's signature on your arm
and it
and
kind of
whatnot,
is.
and it's just it's nuts, but it's what we do.
Well, and you have to wonder, what does he, I don't know that he thinks about this, but what does he think about people getting his name tattooed on their arm? I mean,
Mhm,
that's just wild. I don't know. It's just wild. But for me, again, it is about him, obviously, but it's
mhm,
really about the year, because I just really wanted a permanent reminder of what a fabulous year it was. So I love
exactly.
that picture too. Susan Knox shared that with me. because my friend Vicky and I are right there in the front row acting like lunatics. It's actually almost embarrassing, but whatever. It is what it is. I actually told my students about this podcast today, so I don't know if any of my students are watching, but I'll be embarrassed if they are. It's all right.
Let's hope they are.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing. Yeah, I was looking for. I'm on our page. I was looking for the tattoo thing. I can't find it, so I'll be
We'll have
looking
to create
see.
one.
But yeah, we'll definitely need a Facebook one that has it all, because there's so many out there, and it's just so cool to see everybody's. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool picture with you rocking out in the front and
Yeah.
with Anthony there. So Anthony always running around. So
Yeah, I need Anthony to see if he got a picture of me getting kissed. Anthony.
yeah, right. He might. You never know.
He was right there. He was right there. Anthony.
All right. So we're gonna do. I mean, you've seen the show, so you know it's coming. So I'm gonna put 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay, that's my favorite picture, though. By the way, that's Little Rock.
I love it.
My favorite picture. Okay.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm only gonna do 9 questions. I'm gonna change it down to 9 questions now. So 9 questions in 60 seconds. So we'll see. All right. One EC lyric that stands out to you.
Oh, only one. Yes. Life's most days in life don't stand out, but life's about the days that will. That's the most meaningful. I mean, I really love the I should run from you like a vampire runs from daylight, but I'm gonna do the most days in life don't stand out. Life's about the days that will.
Yeah, I like that line. I run from you like a vampire. That's like,
yes. I love that line.
So how many Jack Daniel airplane bottles do you think you snuck in during the Double Down tour?
That's a great question. I'm going to say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 14.
Oh, wow. I mean, 14 and 27 shows, that ain't bad at all.
No, well, I just started doing it later, and I'm not even going to tell you where I hit them. Let's just not
leave that up to the imagination.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, dream venue to see the ECB in.
Red Rocks.
Oh, I know. Easy. I love to see that. I love to see him in Red Rocks. If you're stranded on an island, you can only take one Eric Church album. What album are you taking and why?
This is so easy. Desperate Man.
Nice.
Desperate Man, because when I heard the little clips, I thought this was insane. And what if I hated this album? What was he doing? And I actually had to drive to Chicago the day I got the CD. And I listened to it the whole way there and the whole way back. And it is my favorite album of all time, of any genre. I love that album. It's clearly Desperate Man. I love it.
It's so good. It's just the flow of it and the different styles, and I love it.
It pushes the envelope. I mean, it just, I love it. All right.
All right. The next one. One song you would love to hear Eric Church and Joanna cover that they have never covered before.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He's a curveball. Normally I ask this Eric. Now I have to say Eric and Joanna.
Because Eric, I have an answer. I'm going to say Sweet Baby James Taylor.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or Rob Thomas Pieces. I love that song.
Yeah.
With Joanna, maybe Mockingbird would be good. James Taylor, Carly Simon, Mockingbird. No, I don't know. I'll have to think. I don't know.
Fire and Rain would be another good one for him.
Yeah, I think anything James Taylor.
Yeah. All right. Your favorite travel destination? Either one you've been to or one that you want to go to, but kind of where's the place when you just had a hard week and you just want to go relax somewhere? Where are you going?
Florida. I'm going to Florida. I have a good friend who lives in Safety Harbor. She just moved from Tampa to Safety Harbor. That's where I would go. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we run down south for sure.
Yeah. Somewhere warm.
All right. What was your first concert you ever went to?
The first concert I ever went to, I'm going to show my age, was Bobby Sherman.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little kid, but it was very cool. Yes.
One artist you like that you hate to admit to? Your guilty pleasure on an artist?
I don't. I mean, there are. God, I can't believe I'm saying this. There are some Nickelback songs I like, which I guess I'm not supposed to like Nickelback.
I like some Nickelback.
Yeah, But no, I don't really have. I mean, most of what I like doesn't embarrass me.
Hmm.
I mean, I like Rob Thomas.
I
I
feel
like,
if I like it, I'm gonna holler it out. I'm gonna admit to liking it.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna listen to it and not back it.
yeah,
That's just something I'm very vocal about music I like. I don't care if it's like an NSYNC song, a Backstreet Boys song, or what it
right.
was. If it's something good, I could bob my head to it and I can relate to it in some way or whatnot. Then yeah, it's a good song. But
That's exactly right.
so all right, well, the last one. What does choir mean to you?
Do you know? It's really community. And I said earlier that what the world really needs is authenticity and genuineness.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing the world really needs is community. And there is a community that's built around Eric Church, um, you know, that he has inspired. And the way that this group of people look out for one another, even like you did at the beginning of the show, but they look out for one another at shows. They let people in front to get their boots signed. They give tickets to people if they have extra tickets. I mean, there's just a sense of community that we don't have anymore in this world, and that's what the choir is. It's a community.
I agree. I agree. Well, we are right there at the time.
Awesome.
It was quick. Are you going to join me for the post show in a little bit?
Sure. I don't know
Okay.
what that entails, but I'm happy.
It'll be the same thing. I'll bring you on. I'm going to sign off here in a few minutes. Give me like
Okay.
10 minutes and I'll send you the link. So probably around like 9:30, we'll say.
Okay, cool.
I'll send you a link. We'll do like a 15, 20-minute post show. I want to talk about that poster behind your head and tell you a cool story about it. We'll
Awesome.
talk about that on the post show.
Okay, awesome. Aaron, thank you so much. It was really
Thank you
fun.
so much. I told you it was nothing to be worried about. Like it was just kind of you and I just talking about the tour and catching up. Like
Yeah, it was
I don't even know
fun.
how many views we've had so far, but we've had a steady 30, 40 viewers at a time. So, but like
Awesome.
people would be nervous about this, and it really is just like a FaceTime call.
Yeah, it
And
was fun. Thank you so much.
oh, thank you so much for being a part of it. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that is another amazing show tonight. I love talking with Donna. I have like so many topics I want to bring up with her. Never had a chance to. So we're going to talk about that St. Louis poster from the Outsiders tour during our post show. So if you're not on our Patreon, hop on over. I'll be posting the post show on the minute we get it done recorded tonight. This is our February giveaway. So hop on over there. For the giveaways, it's just $5 a month, and your name is entered in. For the post show and everything else, it just keeps going up from there. And with the merch, it's really cool. Just go check it out. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming. I can't really say too much, but a lot of cool stuff is gonna be coming on Patreon. So you want to get in on it now because things are growing with the show. So we're gonna be wait till season 2 gets announced. We're gonna be announcing season 2 hopefully this weekend. It will be starting very soon. We have 2 episodes left in season 1. One next week, which I cannot wait for, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But yes, hop over on the Patreon if you guys can. Check it out. Check out all the tiers and just see what you guys can do. If you guys can just throw a couple bucks to help us out with production costs and everything else, a percentage does go to Chief Cares every month. I make sure that I do make a donation in the name of Church Choir, not in the show name, nothing else. It's the name of Church Choir that I make the donation in. So there, I put the link in the chat. Check it out. So enough about that. Once again, hopping back over to the Holding Our Own group on Facebook. Go check them out. If you haven't been on the group, maybe you left a year ago, or probably around a year ago this time. Maybe you left Holding Our Own group or something else. Go back, check it out. It's a great place. They keep it strictly Eric Church. It's friendly. There's so many people over there that just will help you. If you're having a crappy day, they got your back, and it's a great group. But right now we're all kind of coming together just to show Heather we have her back. So Johnson, I'm sure they'd welcome you back, man. I'm telling you, it's a really great group, and it's a way we should all come together with all these different Facebook groups. We have a dozen or so, and each one delivers something different. And I love the way each one does. But so there's no reason why it should be like, oh, are you a member of this group? No, we should all be members of all of them and all get along. We just have different stories for different stuff and different strokes for different folks. Is that how it goes? So if you guys aren't on Holding Our Own group on Facebook, go over there, check it out. Check out the Choir for Heather fundraiser we're putting together. I just ordered the first batch of the wristbands yesterday. They should be coming in a couple weeks. We're going to run it for, like I said, so for I think till April or so, the beginning of April. Come check it out. If you guys, if there was any problems, I'm sure you guys could come back to the group and they'll be fine. I know they're very, very giving for second chances, especially. It's always fun with them, with the group and whatnot. But come check it out. Great prizes, vinyl records. I don't even remember what else. The choir puzzle from Christmas this year. One of those in there. They have a couple ornaments in there. So $5 get you in on a raffle for that, and it goes to a great cause. It's going to our Patreon. And like Stables is saying, we have to help each other out. And it doesn't matter the past or anything else or what could happen or any disagreement you might have had with somebody. That's why I just asked Donna, what does choir mean to you? And honestly, what does choir mean to you guys? And here, Kelly, I'll post the link now. And choir means banding together, coming together and becoming as one for a good cause. And like I said, whenever anybody had a crappy day over in the Holding My Own group or anything else, Heather was always the first one just to say, hey, I'm here. I'm listening. And she would be there and just to say, hey, I got your back. So I feel bad. Like I said, she's a single mom. Her son is autistic, and we need to come together and be the choir. So that's why I said Choir for Heather, man. Let's raise up some money for that GoFundMe and move on. So, and she's gonna kick this thing no matter what. So, like I said, cancer doesn't have a chance anymore. Everybody's gonna start kicking it now. Watch. So, but yeah, there's the link to that. I'm trying to think what else I got. I mean, I think that's pretty much everything. If you guys are around Nashville, I'm gonna be out there this weekend. I don't know what I'm gonna probably get there sometime Friday. Don't know yet. But I'm going to the Opry on Saturday night, so I'll be hanging around Opry Mills most of the day Saturday. But I am going to the Opry to see Tucker Bethard, and it's his first show this year and his first show after losing his brother. So I'm really excited to go down there and see what he's going to do. It's going to be a quick ride. We're going to drive down there for 3 songs and then turn around and come on back home. But I know Chris Young's there, Runaway June, Crystal Gale. I forgot who else is on the bill on Saturday. But if you're in and around Nashville and you could come around Opry Mills at all on Saturday and say, hey, love to see you. Love to say hi. If not, tune in later on Patreon. We're going to have the post show, and I cannot wait for that tonight. Quick little chat with Donna, but in a couple weeks, make sure you come back. Or next week, make sure you come back. We got Kim Brown coming on. We're going to have some fun.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver celebrates the music and fans of singer-songwriter Eric Church. Join Aaron again next week as he shares inside stories and life adventures with another amazing member of the church choir. And remember, everything you need to know about the world can be learned in the church choir. Thanks for joining in on the fun, and we'll catch you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.